The kingdom of Odam was once a place of wealth and splendor. Its rivers shimmered with gold, and its lands bore fruit in every season. But within the walls of the grand palace, a darkness loomed. On the night of Princess Adisa's birth, a foul stench spread through the halls. The queen lay weak, her face twisted in despair, as the midwives recoiled in horror. The baby girl in her arms was beautiful, her skin smooth as the moonlight. Yet, the moment she gasped her first breath, the air soured with the scent of rot. The king summoned the great shaman of Odam, a man known for his wisdom and power. The old shaman ran his fingers over the infant's forehead and sighed deeply. "This child," he murmured, "is cursed. She will grow in beauty, but her presence will drive all away. Her scent will be that of death itself." The queen wept, clutching her daughter to her chest, but the king was furious. He demanded a cure, a solution, anything to rid the princess of this unnatural affliction. The shaman only shook his head. A fate such as this can only be undone by the one who is destined to find her. And so, the years passed. The kingdom thrived, but its princess lived in isolation. Servants wore scented cloths over their faces, unable to bear the smell. The court abandoned her. Suitors who came seeking her hand fled in horror before they could even gaze upon her beauty. Her heart, once filled with hope, grew bitter. She became a shadow in her own home, haunting the empty corridors like a restless spirit. Until one day, a stranger arrived in Odam. And, unlike the rest of the world, he was not afraid. The guards at the palace gates blocked his path. "None may approach the princess," they warned. "Her presence is unbearable." "I will be the judge of that," Jahi replied, his voice steady. The guards hesitated. Many had come before him, but none had dared to insist. With a wary glance at each other, they let him pass. Inside, Princess Adisa sat by the window of her chamber, staring at the stars. She no longer cried at her loneliness, nor did she hope for companionship. But when the door creaked open and the stranger stepped inside, she turned, expecting him to recoil as all others had. He did not. She watched as he moved closer, his expression unreadable. She could see the tension in his jaw, but he did not gag, did not cover his nose, did not flee. He merely looked at her, and for the first time in her life, Adisa felt truly seen. "You," she whispered. "You do not smell it?" "I do," he admitted. "But I have smelled worse." Her heart pounded. Who was this man? And why was he not repulsed like everyone else? Yet, Jahi was not the only visitor in Odam. Hidden in the market alleys, another figure lurked. A woman draped in shadows, her face veiled. The people called her Nyoka, the shadow walker. Some said she was a witch, others a cursed being herself. But she had come for a reason. She knew the prince's secret, and she knew the price of breaking the curse. Jahi did not tell Adisa why he had come. Not yet. Instead, he watched her and studied her. He had read of her curse in an ancient scroll buried deep in the ruins of a forgotten temple. A curse not of her own making, but one tied to the sins of their ancestors. One night, as Adisa slept, Jahi crept into the royal library. He searched the old texts until he found what he was looking for. The truth. The curse had been laid long before Adisa's birth. A wronged spirit, betrayed by a past king, had vowed that no daughter of Odam would ever know love or companionship. Her beauty would be a cruel irony, for none could stand near her. The only way to break the curse was for someone who had already walked with death to willingly take it upon themselves. Jahi clenched his fists. He had walked with death before. He had died once, as a child, and been pulled back by the hands of a powerful shaman. That was why the stench did not drive him away. He was already marked by the other side. But to break the curse, he would have to return to death again. Permanently. Watching from the shadows, Nyoka smirked. You think you understand the curse, she whispered. But you do not yet see the whole truth. Adisa had grown to trust Jahi, but she did not know the price he would have to pay to free her. When he finally told her, she shook her head violently. No. I will not allow it. If I do not, you will live in torment forever, Jahi said. You deserve to be free. Tears filled her eyes. And you deserve to live. Jahi smiled sadly. Some curses do not break without a cost. They traveled to the sacred burial grounds, where the spirits whispered in the wind. The ritual began. Jahi fell to his knees as the curse left Adisa, coiling around him like a serpent. His breath shuddered. His skin paled. No. Adisa cried, gripping his face. There must be another way. There is. A voice echoed in the darkness. Nyoka stepped forward, her veil fluttering in the wind. You can break the curse another way, she said. But it requires a different sacrifice. Jahi and Adisa stared at her. What sacrifice? Adisa asked wearily. The one who betrayed the spirit must be found, Nyoka whispered. For the curse does not belong to you alone. It was passed down. They returned to Odam, welcomed as heroes. The people marveled at their tale, but Adisa knew the truth. Breaking a curse never comes without consequence. At night, she would watch Jahi as he slept, her heart aching. He was alive, but something was different. His shadow did not move like it should. And sometimes, in the dead of night, she swore she heard whispers. Whispers calling his name. Nyoka had stayed behind, watching, waiting. The curse is not fully broken, she said. You have merely transferred it. If the true betrayer is not found, the darkness will consume you both. Jahi clenched his fists. He was tired of running, tired of fate's cruel games. Then tell me, he said. Where do we begin? Nyoka smiled. We must go back to the beginning. To the first betrayal. And this time, the spirit must be avenged. As they prepared to leave, the air around Adisa grew heavy. The scent of death had faded, but a new danger had taken its place. What a journey! The story of the princess who smells like death has taken us through curses, betrayal, and an ending that leaves us with even more questions. Is the curse truly broken? Or has something far more dangerous awakened? If you were captivated by this tale, let us know in the comments. What do you think will happen next? Should Jahi and Adisa continue their quest, or is their fate already sealed? We want to hear your theories. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed the story. Your support helps more people discover these thrilling tales. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss another epic story. Share this video with your friends and family. Let's spread the magic of African folklore and storytelling across the world. And if you want more suspense-filled stories like this, tell us in the comments. Your engagement helps bring more thrilling narratives to life. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for the next adventure. The journey isn't over yet, or is it? Watch out.